Good evening. This episode's Foundry Essentials is not about building missions, but about rating them. As an author, it is quite frustrating to receive a one-star review. A one-star is a pretty serious indictment in the UGC world. I haven't played a mission personally that is deserving of such a low rating. It is also a lasting and visible scar on the record of an author's hard work. For the purposes of illustrating my point, I have only my own missions to use as visual aids, but this is to do with every Foundry author. They could all show you similar examples. That being said, there may very well be a mission out there that may be deserving of a one-star review, whether I've seen one or not. But more often than not, a one-star rating is undeserved. Players enroll to be reviewers, and unfortunately, some of them have no idea how the Foundry works or what its limitations might be. Anyone familiar with the Foundry knows that it is still a beta version, and it is far less than perfect. Most times the one-star stain is a result of a bug in the Foundry or one of its many accepted idiosyncrasies. For example, the map transition took way too long is not something within an author's control. Neither is, my toon fell through the floor as soon as it spawned. I couldn't even play it. Anyone with common sense should realize that an author would not choose to have this happen. Obviously, it's some sort of bug. On top of this, the mission receives the one-star by a reviewer who couldn't even play it. How would he or she know if it were not the best mission he or she had ever played? Yes, it is frustrating to have these bugs occur, but there are far better ways to handle it than to brand what may have been an otherwise fantastic mission with a rating that for most missions could take months to recover from. How about not rating it at all, especially if you could not even play it? You cannot fairly critique work that you have not even seen. Just hit the cancel button and move on. Another helpful method is to send the author a short in-game email about the problem. As an author, I'm certain he or she would want to know so they can take a look at it right away. We call it a community for a reason. Yes, there is a healthy rivalry amongst most Foundry authors, but there is a respect that accompanies and even outweighs any sort of vindictiveness or just plain breaches in etiquette. Are there legitimate reasons for a bad review? Of course. An author may be new or let a few typos slip by. Maybe you love combat and the mission didn't contain much. Perhaps you felt that the uniform style used broke your immersion. These are common gripes, none of which deserve the indignation of a one-star review. My advice is to get to know what authors are and are not responsible for before you sign up to review community-authored material. Here is a question. Can a Foundry author select the type and amount of drops or rewards in his or her mission? If you answered yes, you would be incorrect. The Foundry in its present incarnation is a very limited tool with which some very creative people have toiled long and hard to bring something to the community for the community. And such a scathing review is a base insult that is almost never deserved. Every author's handle is available at the start of a mission, as are, in most cases, directions and/or notes about the mission. Another good habit to get into is to read the mission descriptions carefully. 9 out of 10 times when a player cannot find the starting point of a mission, it is because they could not be bothered to read the description first. I'm familiar with the arguments about this. I hate reading. By the time I actually start, I have forgotten. I shouldn't have to write things down to play a mission. Okay, that's fine. My answer to this is a question. If you do not want to put the effort into playing the mission, why do you want to be a reviewer? Reviewing missions is a responsibility that a player has accepted willingly. We ask that the responsibility be taken seriously. The one-star review is a serious consequence. It is hurtful to authors to know that they can be doled out so frivolously and oftentimes without the least bit of explanation to back it up. Imagine if there were a rebuttal window for the author where they could rate the review. The sheer amount of typos and bad grammar or lack of any coherent review at all, accompanied by a one-star. On occasion it's very humorous, but not very often or for very long. After all, Star Trek Online is a game. Games are intended to be fun. The rating system was not put in place to be hurtful. I ask that all of you out there take this into consideration. The next time, say, your Vulcan tactical officer delivers dialogue containing a contraction or mentions a feeling. Foundry authors are not mind readers, and they are attempting to bring something of quality to the community. If their creative hands are tied by such minor complaints, the next complaint will be that all these missions sound the same, and characters have no personality. 1 star. Thank you for watching, and in advance for your consideration. This has been another Foundry Essentials. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to contact us at mailbag@primetimeugc.com.